What's up, everybody? My name is Shane Schuster, better known sometimes as Dirty Rig Flyco. I live in Bend, Oregon, but I fish in between Lake Tahoe and Bend. Today I'm going to be tying for you my roadkill mouse, or what some people call the Dahmer mouse, and the reason is because I originally started tying them with porcupine quills that I got off a dead porcupine. Anyway, so today we're going to be tying this pattern. Little mouse, and I've got spaghetti foam in the head. This is all synthetic, so it doesn't hold water. It's a 2-hook mouse, and it's got a little stinger in the tail. So here we go, guys. Start with a fulling mill 1/0 hook. This is their streamer stripper hook, and it is barbed. I like to leave my mice barbed until I have to debarb them. Basically be tying in some Simperfly Nano Silk and 50 denier. Is that still recording? Okay. I just don't see it like on my side like I did before.
Might be able to, it's a battery saver.
Yeah, no, it's all good, brother. We're gonna cut that tag off. Continue to make touching wraps so we get a nice thread base down right to the start of the bend of the hook. And what I've done here, guys, is I've taken a piece of rabbit zonker and I put a stinger hook in it. I've also run mono, kind of like a wave through the poked holes in the rabbit strip to give it rigidity, and it helps with getting the water shedding off the tail. So it's just a rabbit zonker with monofilament in it, 20 pound.
Yeah, the stuff I'm using, I think I actually got it.
I like a nice long tail on these mice, and I find that wrapping in the monofilament helps from it fouling as well. So we're gonna give a lot of thread wraps and make sure that this tail is anchored in real good. So again, you're gonna see this 20 pound mono that I'm gonna anchor in there pretty good. We're gonna hit that up with a little super glue as well.
I also use that sheet.
Bunch of touching wraps and then fold back on itself, the monofilament.
I use that same sheet.
We're gonna cut that off, continue with thread wraps until you're really anchored in. Now we're gonna hit that with a little super glue. And that's gonna be bomber. I've caught some pretty big fish on just the tag, or the stinger. Next, we're going to be using Simperfly's boom dubbing, and this is the Black Rainbow. This fly is primarily a gray mouse. And we're going to do a technique I'm sure a lot of you have heard before, and it's called a clump dub. So I'm just going to get a nice piece of dubbing, pretty much keep it in a big square. Fold it over on itself. Looks a little messy, but it's all right. It all cleans up. Take some of that excess. We're basically just giving it a little bit of flash and flare in the back there. Next, we're going to be using Fulling Mills Premium bucktail. And I just like bucktail on this instead of deer hair. It doesn't fray as much. So we're going to get a nice pencil size piece. Take your Renomed scissors. We're gonna take that clump, and all I'm using is just the tips. So I'm gonna make a nice mess on the floor. We're just gonna tie those in. So you just wanna really get those bucktail fibers in, and then I'll pull down and let it flare out just a bit. And then I get one more small clump. Just stack that on top. And on this one, I'm gonna cut away those butt ends. Next, I'm using Simperfly's rubber legs or silly legs in pink, which is a new color for me. A lot of times I'll do it just in like gray or black or whatever you have. Fly tying repertoire, so I'm just gonna loop those over upon themselves.
I need more light and another magnifier. She's got her glasses and like shells.
Now on my mouse, I don't tie them 2 legs in the back or 4 legs in the back, 2 legs in the front, that kind of thing. I just tie them all in the back. It's kind of like, to me, this is almost like a topwater streamer dry fly foam mouse. So it just works for me. So we're gonna lash that all down. The next material I'm going to be using is a synthetic rabbit zonker made by Simperfly. And the reason I went with this, because in the past, I've done a lot of regular rabbit zonkers, but they hold a lot of water, and this does not. It's synthetic. So I kind of went this route on it, and we're going to tie that in right in front of the legs there. Guys, we're gonna wrap that forward, and this is all a guess from here. I like to leave a lot of space because what we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna be using that spaghetti or fettuccine foam to do the head of this fly. Again, super lightweight. This fly is really awesome for you know, a back casting type person, or you can just roll cast it. It's nice and light, so, and the spaghetti foam kind of helps us there. So we're gonna basically wrap forward and palmer just a little bit here. But nice touching wraps. And guys, I go about halfway between where we tied in the legs and the hook eye and stop. So I kind of measure with my thread. I'm gonna cut that off. Just preen it back. Our next material, super simple. Guys, you can get this at a craft store, but just your 2mm foam. This one I happen to like from Simperfly. So we're just gonna take that foam. I cut it, I don't know, that's about close to 1 inch or about as wide as the profile of the mouse. And then I just fold it over. And I like a nice long piece. It just makes it easier to work with. I'm gonna preen everything back and try not to poke myself. And I'm gonna pull the legs down, but I'm going to basically put that to where it almost covers my synthetic rabbit zonker and the kind of tail section of the back here. Whoop. So one thing about Simperfly Nano Silk is you can untwist it and make it nice and flat. And I definitely recommend that when we're tying foam. It will cut through foam just like it does with deer hair. So you might not have saw it, but I kind of unwrapped it just a bit. And I'm just gonna go real easy on some of these wraps. And I'm gonna move these wraps forward and back to cinch all the foam down without ripping it all apart. So I guess what I'm saying is take a nice bite of thread and do a lot of wraps, but not touching necessarily at first. But again, we're not going to wrap and tie in that foam all the way to the head there. So as you get quite a few wraps in there, you can kind of cinch down a little bit more on that end. From there, I'll come in and cut this excess foam. And that's okay, it's gonna move a little bit. Right now, what I'm gonna do is really cinch it down. And that's where it's gonna stop moving on us, or it should anyway. If it doesn't, just hit it with a little super glue underneath. So the next thing we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna take that boom dumbing from Simperfly in the black rainbow, and I'm just gonna get a nice piece, and again, we're gonna clump dub that in. and then pull out the excess. So what I'll do is I'll take that dubbing, and to clump dub it in, I'm gonna stack it on top of itself a couple times. Probably about 5 to 6 times. Make sure I'm looking good. I'm gonna clump dub it right over top. I'm gonna preen all that hair back. I have a nice foam body with a bunch of dubbing that we're gonna pick out in a few minutes. And this is the fun part, guys. And this is where I take the same foam in sometimes 2.5, and I'll take a X-Acto knife and a metal ruler, and I'll cut that foam, and you can buy this. They'll call it spaghetti foam or fettuccine foam, and I'm gonna cut a bunch of like 1 by 1 millimeter strips. Now the object or the way you want to tie this in is not a really big clump, and this stuff kind of ties in a little bit like deer hair. It'll also, your thread can break it. So I tie it in pretty long, about 2-3 inches long, and I'm gonna slowly but surely tie a bunch of these in and wrap and move forward. So I'm just gonna put 2 right on top of one another. Real easy wraps at first, and then I get a couple more, and I just turn. And just like deer hair, you can move your thread back and forth through the foam as you cinch it down. And just being mindful of how everything's kind of laying out for you. I try to just get them as even as possible, but you don't have to. And right now I'm just gonna weave that nano silk in and out of all this foam so I can cinch them down real good. And that's when I'll move up a layer. All this foam is gonna move around on you, don't worry about it, because we're basically gonna cut it all away. But try to stack and pack as much of this foam on the hook shank as possible. This is the only part that gets long-winded just because it's just a bunch of over and over steps. So I'll just tie it and we can fast forward through it. All right, guys, so I feel like I have enough of the 1 millimeter foam all stacked in there. I've weaved in and out of everything, so it's cinched down pretty darn tight. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna preen this back like you guys would feathers, you know, or deer hair. And I wanna bring now my thread up right in front of the hook eye because we're gonna get ready to preen all this back and cinch everything down a few last times before we get to trimming this head for the final trim here. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna pull all this back as tight as I can and just get around that hook eye. Nano silk helps to do that. It'll get in and around that hook, but it might be a little hard to see, but I'm just getting really super tight wraps as I'm pulling this foam back as tight as I can without ripping it. All right, I got about, probably about 10 tight wraps. Now we're gonna whip finish, and then we're gonna trim. This isn't easy, guys. You want to get quite a few wraps on there. And you'll struggle with it a little bit, but it's doable. Just play with it. So I'm gonna give that a nice cinch down. Come in with Renomed's tiny needle nose nippers. Now I'm gonna take a curved blade, just gonna kind of preen all these forward. What I try to do is just, you can manipulate these a little bit, but don't, you know, don't manhandle them. Kind of preen them all forward. Then we start trimming, and I just start trimming back. And boy, you make a mess, just like deer hair. And what I want to do is I just want to slowly rotate the foam and the mouse. Just start cutting these longer pieces down until we get a pretty tight head. So again, I'll just kind of adjust, preen everything back, and then I get all techie and I get in there and I start really paying attention to my cuts. Remembering not to get too aggro. But trimming it all back. One thing I'll use too is a bodkin, just to kind of push that foam forward for me and get the real technical cuts. Slow and easy, just like with deer hair. This is the end of the fly, guys. You can get as technical as you want. I get pretty technical. I like to trim my hair nice and clean, so I just keep using my rotary vise and just keep trimming to where I like it. And guys, she's pretty much ready to fish. Couple more little pieces, I'm good. All right. I'm pretty happy with that.
You happy with that?
Yeah. So hey guys, again, Shane Schuster from Dirty Rig Fly Co. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at dirty DIRTY underscore rig RIG underscore fly FLY underscore co. You can find me on there. I do sell flies from time to time, so hit me up. If you're ever interested in anything I'm tying, have some questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, this is the Dahmer mouse, AKA roadkill mouse. And thanks for watching, guys.